Mr. Investor, welcome back to the channel, baby. Oh goodness, bionano genomics is dropping again. We've been there before. But what am I doing? I'm buying even more bionano genomics. Every week I buy more and more, and my conviction never sways because there's more and more news coming out every single week. So bionano genomics was featured at the 2021 European Cytogenetics Conference. So we're going to be exploring all of the results of these lovely and fabulous scientists from across the world. In England, something is going on with newborn screening. And there was a public dialogue that took place with around about 1,000 people, and it overall shows some great support for newborn screening. So the UK is going to be using whole genome sequencing to actually do newborn screening, and I'm going to be talking about why bionano genomics could be used alongside whole genome sequencing. I also found this tool where it's predicted what institutions are going to invest next in bionano genomics, and there's a long list of them. And I've got a great video coming out soon. I went far and beyond to try and figure out some stuff about bionano genomics, and I'm going to be showing it in the next few videos. If you're new around here, my name is Miguel. I look for big juicy growth stocks, and I believe bionano genomics is one of them. So I actually bought bionano genomics at $1.90 or $2 range, something like that. I sold it and quick flipped it. I sold it at $4.80, and then I actually ended up buying back at $10 when I'd done my due diligence and I realized the potential of what this company could become. So ever since then, it's been a discount sale for me week by week. Because it's under my average, I continue to buy bionano genomics. So welcome to the channel, cowboys. If you're able to support my channel, please click the join button above my head. But if you're unable to, just you hitting the like and clicking subscribe is enough for me. Drop me some comments, let me know your thoughts and feelings. Let's get into this video. Also, always remember, none of this is financial advice, it's for entertainment only. So the first thing I want to show you is on Fintel. If you have the premium version, thank you so much to everybody who supports this channel. You can go to this, and it's bionano genomics investor relations and targeting tool. This is a recommendation engine. And what Fintel has done is, they've drawn out the institutions and funds that are most likely to invest in Bngo based on the analysis of their current holdings. The way they've done this was actually using a machine learning algorithm to examine Fintel's database of ownership filings. So what the algorithm has done is actually identified institutions and funds that invest in a similar way to existing holders. So we know BlackRock currently owns some bionano genomics. There's actually 149 institutional owners at this moment in time. We can see BlackRock there, Invesco is also there, as well as Vanguard. But who does the algorithm predict is going to be next? So their algorithm on Fintel takes into account the assets under management. So you can see here in the number of millions that each institution has under their management. The next thing that the algorithm takes is the holdings, the current holdings that they have, how many thousands or hundreds of companies they currently hold. And then it develops a score under the most likely. So it's got it numbered under the most likely ones who are going to invest. This can range from Commerce Bank, there's a few banks there's some pension funds, there's also some ETF trusts, BlackRock, lots of different asset management groups. And if we scroll down to the bottom, let's see the total number. Scrolly, 150. So their machine learning algorithm has identified 150 institutions and funds that are most likely to invest in Bngo. And remember, this is not guaranteed. It may not be accurate. There may even be more funds that are more likely to invest in Bngo. But this is the investor relations and targeting tool recommendation engine on Fintel. Oh, we have, however, had a few institutions invest recently. Let's take a look. One of them actually invested 5 shares. Yes, big spender, a whole whale with 5 shares. How the hell did they get 5 shares at an average price of 0? I have no idea. But underneath that we have State Street Corp with an average of $8 per share, and they opened a new position of 111,000 shares. So currently the stock is trading in the $6 range, $6.22. I'm going to be picking up a little bit more if it drops into the $5 range. But for example, if some of you guys are just new to bionano genomics and you're going to enter position, you could get a better position than some of the institutions investing in Bngo. If we do, however, scroll down, we can see a lot of them actually have it in the $6 range. There's people from $6.30, and a lot of people also have it, a lot of institutions at the $5.50 range, $5.58. BlackRock, for example, has an average of $5.58, and they have 3.4 million shares. So now bionano genomics optical genome mapping was extensively featured at the 2021 European Cytogenetics Conference. So the conference actually featured 5 presentations and 4 posters from Bngo Sapphire System customers. I think this is from a children's hospital in Madrid. 100% concordance with traditional assay techniques for pediatric leukemia, and in 60% of the cases they revealed new clinically relevant information with optical genome mapping. Not only that, but in Barcelona in the Hospital del Mar, the doctor managed to use optical genome mapping to predict the most severe prognosis for CLL. CLL is chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and it's the most common leukemia in adults. So the cancer, the leukemia cells start in the bone marrow and then they go into the blood. Then there's a university hospital in Belgium, University Hospitals Leuven, and they actually produced research for optical genome mapping that there was an improvement in patient treatment and prognostic accuracy for ALL. And why is this important? ALL, acute lymphocytic leukemia, is also called acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And basically, this leukemia can progress quickly. If not treated, would probably be fatal within a few months. So they need to move fast. So in terms of moving fast, there's a 75% reduction in turnaround time. So instead of 4 days, it takes traditional techniques. Bionanogenomics optical genome mapping took 1 day. So this is really important in an aggressive cancer that can be fatal within months. It also showed 100% concordance. There was no false positives. So some really juicy accuracy. And there's a 50% reduction in costs for optical genome mapping relative to standard techniques. So you're saving money. You're saving time. You're getting better outcomes for patients. You're improving patient treatment. This was evident in many different types of leukemias from all across the world. They were exploring this. Also over in Paris at the Hospital Necker-Infantis Malades, they managed to recognize a new genetic disorder, and optical genome mapping has provided these insights to show the mechanism of formation. So you've got a lot of researchers at the top hospitals across the world. For example, this MVZ Martin-Schried in Munich, that hospital MVZ Martin-Schried in Germany is actually known as one of the top European sites in terms of cancer, genetics, cytogenetic applications. And this article states that all the way back in October 2019, they were going to use this sapphire for applications in different areas of cancer research, cytogenetics. And now at one of the world's biggest platforms, the European Cytogenetics Conference, they are exploring other things, not just cancer, but they're looking into clinically relevant chromosomal aberration that leads to infertility. And across the globe, over in Washington School of Medicine, Seattle, they've managed to assemble high quality reference of the genome of the bonobo. Oh, the bonobos! So we can see that a lot of researchers are utilizing bionanogenomics sapphire system for many different applications. This was the most amount of presentations that they've ever had at the European Cytogenomics Conference. And Eric Holmlin, the CEO of Bionanogenomics, has said that there's been increased adoption. It's reflecting the increased adoption of the sapphire system throughout Europe. And there's lots of different clinical research applications that are benefiting from optical genome mapping. But I think many applications still haven't even been developed yet. People don't know what they can use the machine for. We've seen it in cancer, we've seen it in genetics, we've seen it in discovery of species or mapping out the genome of certain species. But in particular in the field, they're saying that the clinical research applications for blood cancers and genetic disease, where optical genome mapping has the potential to deliver significant advantages to clinicians relative to the current standard of care. They can improve the standard of care. And if everybody wants to move into this model of, preventative medicine, we don't want to get sick first and then try and heal it. What if you can prevent disease, prevent illness? That's what it's moving into. We're moving away from the biomedical approach. We've moved into the holistic approach. Now we're moving into a preventative approach in terms of a healthcare model. So this was some very interesting news. There's actually a public dialogue that just went on here in July in the UK, and they were talking about the use of whole genome sequencing in newborn screening. So now remember, one of our recent deals with, I think it was called We Health Shanghai, over here on the left, We Health Shanghai, what they're planning to do is run this kind of genome analysis service where they're offering optical genome mapping combined with whole exome or whole genome sequencing. So you see that they're going to be offering optical genome mapping alongside whole genome sequencing. So they stated this is quite important for a lot of different diseases, including genetic disease, even blood clotting disorders. And now the UK has said that out of the public that they've been talking to, people are quite supportive of whole genome sequencing, although there are some issues regarding data and privacy. So now check this out. This is GeekWire. This was an article I showed you guys a few months ago. As a metric, 75% of structural variations that are present in a person's genome are missed by whole genome sequencing, but they're captured by long read phase genome assembly. So if they're saying that 75% of structural variations present are missed by whole genome sequencing, some are captured by long reads, and some methods used by long read sequencers like PacBio sequencing detects only 72% of the large structural variants detected by optical genome mapping. So how important are structural variations? It says here in this GeekWire article that commercial whole genome sequencing, or WGS, often misses out on on crucial variations that can make all the difference when it comes to an individual's health. So very important. Now my face is going to get bleeped, but let's go into this Guardian article. Ho ho ho, I've been bleeped. So whole genome sequencing of all UK newborns would have public support. So they've been consulting the public, and it shows positivity towards screening programs to spotlight those at heightened risk of certain health conditions. So there are plans here in the UK to sequence the whole genome of every newborn in the UK in order to spot those that are going to be at risk of health conditions. This is absolutely huge, and we can see now it's coming into fruition. They've been talking about this for years. This article was released on Sunday, 4th of July 2021, and it states that if they're screening everybody, around about 9 children born every day in England would have one of these conditions. So these guys are going to be sequencing the whole genome. They're going to be using whole genome sequencing, but it's going to potentially miss something. As it states here, whole genome sequencing misses out, so that's why long reads and optical genome mapping would be beneficial. So Genomics England is going to be the one spearheading this, and so they got 130 participants. They had over 1,000 people in a live stream, and they were all watching and listening and learning about whole genome sequencing, and spoke about how they felt towards newborn screening and using whole genome sequencing.
It sounds cheesy, but I almost feel honoured to have been a part of it. So many people get scared of medical advancements, but if you don't take the chances, how the hell are we going to know that things work? How are we going to find out the answers?
So as you can see here, they were educating members of the public. They were showing them, what whole genome sequencing is about, why genetics is important, and lots of people had very positive reactions to this. So although there were only 130 participants, I think a lot of people are warming up to innovation and seeing that, we can now use genomics to save lives, to, put treatments and interventions in to cure disease, to prevent slow progression, or even personalized treatments. They were saying that the consent must come from parents, obviously because the newborn can't give their own consent, but they may have a different view as they grow up, including the genomic data being used for research. They are seeing that the screening test has potential to look for many more conditions than current newborn screening tests. And Professor Sir Mark Caulfield, Chief Scientist at Genomics England, has said that genomics has the ability to identify a wider set of conditions than the current NHS newborn screening program. It offers them the ability to use treatments and interventions that could cure, prevent, or slow down the progression of a range of illnesses and disabilities. It has the potential to kickstart a revolution in the way we find, make available new diagnosis and treatment for children with rare but very serious diseases and transform their life chances. So for me, this is the reason why I value bionano genomics. There's nobody in the world that has tech like this. There may be competitors rising over in the East, but as of now, optical genome mapping, bionano genomics has a stronghold in the industry and a technique that can potentially disrupt and bring about cytopia. Structural variations are so important in disease, and with bionano genomics Sapphire, structural variants have nowhere to hide. I'm going to be bringing you some really juicy and entertaining content over the next few days, next few weeks. I'm seeing when I can throw this all together, but you're really going to enjoy it. Thank you so much for loving and supporting my channel. I appreciate all of you guys, and I wouldn't do this and I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So thank you so much for all your love and support. Thank you for the donations. If you want to support my channel, you can click the join above my head. But if you're unable to, just you hitting the like and clicking subscribe is enough for me. I love you all, my cowboys and cowgirls. Please remember, none of this is financial advice. It's for entertainment only. Mr. Invest a lot. I'll catch you in the next video.